Welcome back to another episode of Ingrid's World. On this episode, you will meet 4 graduates of West Point. They are pursuing careers from the military to fitness to engineering. They open up a world of possibilities to all of us. Then you will meet an author that has teamed up with an artist to publish a children's book about bullying. Did I mention that they also happen to be mother and son? And learn what is on the mind of a youth in regards to cyberbullying. Now let's welcome to the show Allison, Kirsten, Lauren, and Dennis. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ingrid.
Well, let's just first start off with you, Lauren. A little bit about yourself.
Yes, so I am the second in the family. Allison's the oldest. I'm the second sister. I graduated from the United States Military Academy at West Point in 2003. After that, I spent 5.5 years in the Army as a military police officer. Did 3 deployments to Iraq. And now I'm out, I'm married, I have 3 children. I'm also married to a fellow West Point graduate, now living in the Middle East again, in Doha, Qatar, and working for ExxonMobil in the oil and gas industry.
How impressive. And you, Allison?
So I'm a 2001 grad from the United States Military Academy, and I spent 10 years and 3 days in the Army as a military intelligence officer. And I'm currently the mother of 3-year-old twins, and my husband still serves in the Army, but we are living in Leavenworth, Kansas area, where I just finished up the Command and General Staff College there as an Army reservist. I do participate in the Army Reserves now. So,
wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's impressive. And Kristen?
Yes, I am a 2006 graduate from the United States Military Academy, and I'm married to a fellow classmate. I spent 5 years in the Signal Corps. My husband's still serving as well. I'm out of the Army. We have a 15-month-old son, and I'm a fitness coach.
And you're a fitness coach.
Yes.
Fantastic. And Dennis?
Yes, and I'm the youngest of the family here, only boy. I'm a 2008 graduate from the United States Military Academy, also in the Army, and I am currently stationed in Fort Carson, Colorado. I've also been stationed in Germany, and transportation and logistics officer.
Wow. Well, first of all, congratulations to all of you. It's quite impressive, and hats off to your parents, because I know that they are proud of you like we are here. So I have this big question, first of all. What made you decide on West Point? Who would like to take that question? Who decided on that?
Well, I think we all have different reasons
Yeah,
for going,
we do.
which is interesting.
We do.
Do you want to start out?
Yeah,
So
maybe
Allison,
first.
what was your reason?
I'll start. So the big thing was I was applying to colleges. I guess my parents cut their teeth on college applications with me, and I was applying for ROTC scholarships. And as I was doing that, my dad said, hey, he calls me Al, he said, hey Al, have you thought about applying to any of the service academies? And I said, no, not really. He said, well, everything that you're writing for these ROTC scholarships kind of will fit the application for service academies. So I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. And then I started asking my dad more questions about his time at West Point and all the pranks and things they'd pull on each other. Of course, then there were only males there. So that kind of inspired me. I thought, wow, this seems like a really kind of a neat place to be. And I started to look into it more and actually apply for the service academy.
Wow.
So.
Laura, what was your take on that?
Well, I think for me, because Allison, my sister, was already there, so I heard her experience, but I knew I wanted something that was challenging. I'm one who's never going to pass up a challenge. So I liked that it was not only academically challenging, but it was physically challenging, mentally challenging, kind of the whole gambit of challenges there. So, and that was something that I really liked, and I couldn't pass it up. So that was why I wanted to go, and then ultimately to serve my country. I knew when I graduated, I would be an officer in the United States Army, and I'd get to give back to the country.
We're just so thrilled. And well, let's talk with you, Kirsten.
Yes.
What motivated you?
So, well, I had 2 sisters who were there when I was applying for colleges. It's actually funny though, because our mom went to Ohio State University, and Dennis and I joked about we would go there, so it would be an even split in our families. And so I was applying to ROTC scholarships as well, but I think it was mostly the camaraderie that drew me in. Whenever we'd go up to see Allison and Lauren, just being around in an atmosphere where people just, you could tell that there was something different about the relationships that are formed at West Point versus anywhere else. So.
And Dennis, did you feel like, okay, your sisters did it, you had no choice?
I get that question a lot, but I will say it was a very similar reason to what Lauren stated in terms of the challenge and also the reward of having accomplished those 4 years. And I actually attended the West Point Prep School, so it's really 5 years, but it was a great challenge and great reward at the end. So.
Wow. You know, and so you were educated all in Prince William Public Schools. Hello. Hats off to public education.
Yeah, Garfield High
William.
School.
Garfield High School. Wow, excellent. So when you were studying and going in school, what were some of the tips that you want to say, hey, make sure you do this if you want to be anything like that, shooting for the stars, such as like West Point? What did you kind of, let's say, do in terms of your education?
Well, I think definitely find what you want to do. Even if you're not exactly clear on exactly what you want to do, find a path and stick with it. And really play up to your strengths. Know what your weaknesses are, but also know what your strengths are, and build and work on those strengths. So and stay with it, because it will eventually pay off in the long run.
So what's your study habits like? Because I'm always talking about study habits. Did you study every day or 3, 4, 5 hours when you were in high school?
Oh, is this in high school? Oh,
high
that's
school.
funny because when we were actually just sitting around talking, and that was something I was like, what were my study habits like in high school? And I wasn't that student who studied long hours every day, but I did take challenging courses in high school, and that's something that I would highly recommend for any high school student, is to not limit yourself in the types of classes that you take. I will say that West Point definitely taught me how to study, and just kind of tossing you in the water almost, where you just have a tough course load, and so you really need to sit down and push it. I wish I had developed the same study habits that I had at West Point while I was in high school, because I probably would have done so much better in high school.
Did all right to me. Wow. And so when I was reviewing it, it seemed like you were very active physically. You played sports. Did all of you play sports in high school?
Yes.
Really? How did that impact you, Dennis?
Oh, impacted. It definitely, I'll say, prepared you for the physical challenges and the rigor of West Point. But also for the sports that we played at West Point, intramurals and collegiate sports. It was definitely a good way to prepare. And also socially, you learn a lot from being in sports and participating and being part of a team, something bigger than just yourself.
So it's definitely, sound like what we were saying, the student athlete is
Right.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
With a big emphasis on student, but I think the athlete portion, helps. Like Dennis said, it helps in understanding how to work with a team and to understand what you're good at and where you may need, someone else's help with. But at West Point, you are a student and you're an athlete, and that's the big challenge.
So we have 5 minutes left, and I want us to talk about where you are now, because I think that that's pretty exciting. So when I was emailing and I heard that people weren't even, you were in another part of the world,
Yes.
Dennis. Let's start with you. What are you doing now?
Well, let's see. About 13 days ago, I just returned from Afghanistan from a year tour. Currently stationed in Fort Carson, Colorado, and looking to really continue to get all I can from the Army in terms of experiences, knowledge, and different lessons. So trying to gain all I can. So if I decide to stay in the military or get out, I still have these great experiences to fall back on.
I love it, and I love it because like West Point was the building. Well, first of all, was having fantastic parents, number one, and number two, then the great education, and then West Point. Kirsten, where are you?
Yes,
what are you doing?
we are at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and I'm on the other side of Army life as a wife, an Army wife. So, yeah, just going with where the Army takes us next and experiencing the other side. So as a mom and a wife.
That's fantastic. It really is. And now, Lauren,
So I have worked with ExxonMobil for the last 5 years. Spent some time in Houston, spent some time in Japan, and now I'm living in Doha, Qatar, with my family there. As an engineer. I work as an engineer, and that, is an opportunity that I got from West Point and getting that engineering degree. And now I'm working in oil and gas. I never thought I would be working in oil and gas, but it's an area where I'm able to apply and use leadership skills that I learned at West Point. So I'm enjoying it.
and Allison.
So, I'm sorry, Ingrid.
Oh, yeah, please.
So as I mentioned before, I recently graduated from the Army's Command and General Staff College at Fort Leavenworth, and was on active duty for a bit, but I'm back as an Army reservist. But as a mother now, full-time mom again after these past 10 months, I'm also pursuing fitness, as Kirsten mentioned as well. I'm a fitness coach for Beachbody, so I'm really excited about helping people get on a healthy track when it comes to lifestyle and eating and fitness and staying in shape, because I think we really need that here. So
We definitely
and inspiring and encouraging. So I enjoy that.
So, as we kind of say, looking at like some final words, I'm always looking for words for parents, for caring adults. What can we do to help get our young people to be all they can be? I mean, it may not be West Point, but it may be one of our universities here. I think that's what it's all about.
Ingrid, if I could, I served at West Point as an admissions officer, and Kirsten did as well. And during my time there, I was able to see not just that side, but also I was a cadet and I was a high school student. So I have a pretty good perspective, I think, for those things. I would recommend that parents definitely allow their children to go in the direction that they're interested in. It's got to be something that a young person, a student wants to do, and where he or she wants to be if they're going to excel. And if it's not West Point, that's fine. If it's not the military, that's fine. As long as it's somewhere where they can be productive in our society, that's the most important. But it has to be their decision.
Excellent, excellent. Any thought, Dennis?
Yes, absolutely. I would say no matter what you want to do, Allison and Lauren both touched on it, but know what you want to do, make sure it's what you want, and start where you are with what you have, because what you have is enough, and just shoot for the stars.
Oh my goodness. I think this is like my best segment. Because, I mean, it really is the truth. You're a mom, and what are you communicating to your children? When do you start doing that?
Well, something our mom and dad taught us is that no matter what age, they understand, and they're just little sponges that soak in anything that you tell them, whether it's positive or negative. So it's important to just instill in them the confidence that they need to succeed and to push themselves.
Wow. And my final word, we're going to give it to you, Lauren. What's your final?
Well, I think parents definitely play a huge role in that, and I think we can all thank our parents for what they did. So I'll take that opportunity to do that.
Well, I have to thank each of you for finding the time, first of all, to come on the show and being a role model to all of us in the community. I mean, you all are fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ingrid.
I learned a lot from our guests, and I hope you did too. Coming up next, we'll be talking to an author and an artist who are addressing bullying from a literary platform. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Ingrid's World. I am your host, Ingrid Paris Hicklin. I want you all to meet Michelle Morgan Spady and Bradford O. Spady, who have just completed a book known as Susie Q and the ABC Crew in Bullying on the Playground. Well, welcome to the show, Michelle, and welcome to the show, Bradford.
Thanks.
Well, thank you for being here. Well, first of all, what a wonderful book this is.
Thank you.
I've looked at it, and it's a beautiful book. Let's start with you. What inspired you to write this book?
Well, as you know, I teach. I'm a former teacher, and I still do substituting. And I run into a lot of incidents on the playground, in the classroom with kids and bullying, and just how they handle the situations. So it kind of inspired me that way to want to tell a story. So I wrote this story, but it's in poem format. Yeah, it's really
beautiful.
Really good.
It's beautiful.
Yes. Yeah.
What took me, Bradford, you are the artist? Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. You've drawn all of these pictures?
Yeah,
What inspires you, Bradford?
just things that you know, that I get, things that I look at, you know, that I get inspired by. It's just, I just doodle.
You just doodle. Well, I wish I could doodle like you, because I'm an artist, but I could never draw these. They're so wonderful, and yeah, really, it's so expressive. Look at this one. You know, this is like amazing. How did you like get this figured out to have the eyes? It's like, you know, really with the poems, what they say, what they saw, they didn't like, and you can really tell that she didn't like it, you know, by the face. Wow. So you've done this book, and you were inspired to do it. When you said you wrote it in poem form, why did you choose that way to communicate the issue of bullying?
Well, as an English teacher, my favorite, now I like writing poetry. So that poem came very easy to me. I don't know, it just came out in a matter of hours.
Really?
Yeah, and then I have to
book?
go back and work on it. Well, the poem did, since it was for children. And so I looked around the house for some of the characters, because Bradford draws a lot. And I found those 3 or 4 that were in the book, and I thought they were so cute, and they fit just perfectly. So I built this story around the artwork.
Wow.
He added more to it, and we had a graphic designer who helped out with the graphics part of the book.
Bradford, who's your favorite artist? Who do you like?
I have a lot.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's your favorite one that you like? So, and I because you know what, when I look at this artwork, and it almost seems like you're pulling a little bit of Charles Schultz, you know, from the, somewhat like that. Boondoggle, you know, they have some other those characters. It's just, but it's also so vibrant, you know. It really,
Artist.
yeah.
Artist's name.
And I love this. Well, I bet you seem to be the type of artist that you use lots of different people. So to
Yes.
say one
Yes.
particular, say, is really probably not fair. That's not a fair question. You use lots of different people.
Yes.
And because I'm looking at it, and look at this expression.
We decided not to use the whole body because, as you well know, a bully could be anybody. It could be a boy or a girl, an adult or a
I
teen.
love it. I love it. Yes, and I like that fact. So it's non-gender,
Yeah.
so that way it's appropriate for lots of. And actually, it's not necessarily a teen. It's
No.
not necessarily an adult. You know, it's or a child. So I love that aspect of it. Most bullies are not happy with themselves. Ooh, poignant.
And so we do spend a lot of time in the book on talking about empathy being the main reason. We've found research that kids just don't have a lot of empathy, those who do bully.
Yes.
And a lot of time is spent on the victim, and not enough time really is spent on the kid who bullied,
Right.
you know, or the bystander.
Right.
So we kind of deal with that in the book. We have activities.
So
place.
I tell you, now I hear, and you may not be able to tell me the title, but I hear you have another book in the works.
Yeah, we have one now at the printers. It's called 7 Days to Tell, and that's about hazing in college, and it's a story about some kids who have to make a moral decision as to whether they tell what they saw during this hazing incident. So we had this younger book for the younger kids, and we wanted something a little older.
Excellent.
And Bradford now is also working on another book.
Third.
Yeah, it's actually that'll be our fourth.
Fourth
He
book.
did the first one when he was just graduated, An Artist and His Obsession.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
So that was out of high school.
That's like amazing. It really is. And you're the artist for all 4 books. Wow. Do you draw all the time, Bradford?
Yes, I do.
Excellent, excellent. I can tell because only one who draws all the time could draw this well. You know, because it's professional. It's in a book. It's beautiful. Oh my goodness. Who named the characters?
Well, sometimes we do it together.
You do it together.
Yeah, he will allow me to do some. And so, like I said, a lot of times the characters are just kind of laying around the house, and I decide to do things with them.
Well, I particularly wanted to have you on the show because you're inspiring, because I'm a mother of sons and I'm always thinking about, you know, what project can I work on with my son?
Right.
So, Bradford, how's it like working with your mom?
It's great. You know, we toss ideas around, and
Excellent. It's great.
It's
oh
great.
my goodness.
I know.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. I think I'll keep that a
And
while.
it's going to be on tape. That's great. Oh my goodness. I hope I'm going to be so fortunate to have my son say, oh, I like working with my mom on television. Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, I have to thank you so much for being on the show and sharing Susie Q and the ABC crew in Bullying on the Playground.
Thank you. Thanks for
I have to
having
get
us.
my whole edition
Yes.
of this.
You must have a collection.
I love it. I have
Right.
to get a collection. All right. Well, thanks again.
All right, thank you.
And thank you, Bradford.
thank you.
That was incredible information. Coming up next, we'll be talking to a 9-year-old about cyberbullying. So don't leave this channel because we'll be right back. Welcome back to Ingrid's World. I am your host, Ingrid Paris Hicklin. I want you all to meet Alyssa Hicklin, who has some thoughts about cyberbullying. Welcome to the show, Alyssa.
Hi,
Good to have you.
thank you.
So, what is it about cyberbullying that you want to talk about? What is it?
Cyberbullying is bullying on the internet. For an example, if you're texting and you got a hurtful text message, that would be an example of cyberbullying.
Wow. So, if you get that hurtful text message, what should you do?
Tell an adult right away and it'll get taken care of.
So, an adult, does that mean also
Parents, but you can't just walk over and tell a stranger.
well, I just wanted to make sure about that. So, we talked about bullying. Have you ever been bullied before, cyberbullied?
No.
No. So, how did you learn about this?
Because I take classes in school and we've gotten examples on what could happen. Because if you get bullied by someone, cyberbullied by someone at your school, you don't want to bully them back because it will get worse at school.
Oh, so if I get a hurtful message and they say, but suppose I really want to say, well, you're stupid too. What should I do?
Just tell an adult right away, like, they're hurting me and I really want to say something back, but you just can't do it because then it'll get worse at school.
Oh, that's good advice.
Thank you.
So now I know what to do in case this happens to me. So that way I would I wonder what I would do. I'm the caring adult. So I guess I got to take care of it. But I like what you say is that tell an adult for a student or a child must tell an adult and they
Yes.
will handle it.
Yes.
Okay, so I bet you if that happens to you, you will know how to handle it. Wow. Well, thank you for being on the show, Alyssa.
Thank you.
Thank you. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Great. I'd like to thank our wonderful guests for appearing on the show. All of you are amazing people. And I leave you with this final thought from Ralph Ellison. Education is all a matter of building bridges. Thank you for watching Ingrid's World, and don't forget to become a fan on Facebook for instant Ingrid's World news or see ingridsworld.org. Bye-bye.